Hi everybody, Katie here. Welcome to your general weekly reading for the week beginning April 9th, 2018. I almost said 2019, but we're not there yet. So this week I'll be using the Everyday Witch Tarot cards by Deborah Blake and also intuiting some messages that are coming in from the universe. So wanted to check in with you all and see how you were doing last week. Last week was an interesting week to say the least. For me personally, I'm going to be real with you guys, it was horrible. I felt so awful last week and still actually now. It's kind of, I think, trickling into this week. I was really struggling all week and I just wasn't able to pull myself out of it. I felt like my tools weren't really helping me too much. So it was really just a strong message to just surrender to it and just let it be. Just give myself whatever I needed to get through the time, and just kind of let everything else fall. And I'm telling you this because before I started my business, I used to think that spiritual teachers or healers or whatever, they had their shit together and they never really had a bad day, or if they did, they had all these tools to pull themselves out of it. And you see them and they look so great and they're glowing and they're on stage and they're telling you about this amazing story that they have and all of these obstacles that they've overcome, and you learn from them when they're on the other side. So you're trying to relate yourself in your darkest hour to these people who have overcome that, and they are up on stage or they're teaching you all of these things and they're presenting the best pieces of themselves to you, and you're coming and comparing yourself to at your lowest and comparing them to your highest. And this is definitely was the case for me until I, had to draw a line in the sand with everything and just understand that everybody has stuff. Everybody goes through things. It doesn't matter how evolved you are. It doesn't matter how many tools you have. You're still a human being on this earth and you will still deal with bullshit. And that is totally okay. What this whole spiritual journey is all about is how you come to those solutions and how you move through those difficult pieces. Are you going to grow and perhaps come at them at different angles, come at these issues in different ways, or are you going to just do the same old stuff that you used to do? And this is what this is all about. It's not about feeling good all the time. It's not about having an easy life, because life is not easy. It's about how you approach life. And so, this was a very similar feeling. I've felt this feeling for most of my life this week. I haven't felt that way in a really long time, unable to kind of pull myself up. But what I know differently now is that when you go through things like that, there's nothing wrong with you. It just means that your body needs some nourishment, or you need to go and take care of yourself, or your plate is too full, or something is not right. So instead of pushing through it or trying to hide it or suppress it with whatever substance, I just decided to throw my hands up and to just be grumpy this week. Of course, not to be an asshole to anybody, but just give myself the space, kind of retreat from relationships and just spend time by myself. And, this weekend I didn't do a whole lot of work. I just relaxed all day yesterday. It was really, really nice to just kind of I didn't do nothing. I did lots of baking and stuff like that, but not to really worry about the future. I have a lot of decisions to make in my life right now. I have so many things I have to do. And I couldn't really, in my logical mind, afford to actually take a day and not look at any of it. But I had to, for my own personal self. And you have to build up that strong relationship with yourself. And part of that is choosing what your body and what your soul actually want over what your brain needs and what your brain actually thinks that it actually needs. And it's sometimes really hard for us to give up those commitments or to let go of those goals that aren't really serving us or that are just kind of making us feel really bad in order to honor ourselves in the moment. But that's part of this whole journey. That's part of this self-love thing. That's part of you connecting in with yourself and building your intuition and following your path, is recognizing when you're pushing yourself too hard or you're pushing yourself in the wrong direction, and it's time to turn a corner and maybe even retreat and go back a little bit. So I wanted to share this with you all because I You know, I'm a normal person. I appear on these videos every week. My moods go up and down just like everybody else's, and I'm here to tell you that if you think that those people who are inspiring you and who are teaching you and who are healing you are not like you at all, you would be mistaken, because those people probably have more pain and probably feel more pain than any of us, but that's why they're able to serve. And they just have the tools in place. And when they get up on stage and when they're healing you, or when they're being your person, your healer, your psychologist, your teacher, they're giving you the best because they're showing up for you, because they're here to heal you. But don't think for a second that they don't have their dark moments and their self-doubt. So when I finally realized all of this, it was a very big, happy moment for me when I realized that people are just humans, even the cool people that you want to be like, or the people who you're very inspired by, and that they are just showing you the best parts of themselves. And it's not because they're fake, but it's because that's just how they show up in the world, because they're doing what they love, so they get excited and so they get happy. But when they go home, they're still dealing with a whole lot of human stuff that you are too. So I want to share this with you, even for the small chance that even one person out there watching this is experiencing something similar, or is getting really hard on themselves because they should know better, or that they have the tools so that they should be able to get over this and they're not able to. I'm in the same boat. I'm trying a lot of different things, and I'm unable at this time to pull myself out of this little semi-slump that I'm in. So I'm just going to let myself feel it. And that's the strongest avenue, is for yourself to actually sit and feel your emotions, because obviously these emotions within me need to be felt for a while before I can work through them. So I will be processing this for however long it takes. And that being said, for this week and any week, if you are having some difficulty getting through something, moving forward, getting clarity, I am always here for you guys. I do Reiki, I do coaching, I do tarot and angel card readings, I do meditation classes and consultations. I absolutely love helping people, and I'm here to serve. So if you ever need any help with any of that, or you're interested in clearing out some of that old stuck energy, you can give me a call. I would be happy to heal you, and I'll put all of that information down below for you. And I myself am going to be calling my teacher after this, and I will be booking an appointment with her, because sometimes we can't always fix ourselves. Sometimes it just takes somebody else to kind of step in and hold the space for us and for our bodies to do the healing. Okay. And what do we have for this week? I'm feeling a bit of anxiety. I'm sorry to report. I think it's going to be a bit of a busy week. Could be a bit anxiety inducing. Yeah, there's going to be lots of temptation, I think, to do a lot of stuff. But I think we're all kind of being tested right now to see what's important. So what are you going to focus your energy on? You can't do everything all at once, unfortunately. I've tried, but you can do some things. So what are those things that are most important? What do you want to focus on right now? And you're going to be very tempted to go a mile a minute. But I think it's really important this week if we scale back a little bit and we really look at what's going on in our lives. I know that we've been doing tons of reflecting lately, but that's just kind of the nature of things. We talked a little bit last week about planning, so making those plans for the summer when it's time to go full force. But this is almost like you've picked so many courses. You want to take all these courses, but now you actually have to choose. You only have so much time to fill your schedule. So which ones are your favorite? Which ones are you actually going to pick? Anything else with this? Yeah, you will be very tempted to speak your truth this week, which is really good. So speak your truth, always delivering it with love. Don't attack anybody. If you are scared to speak your truth, This might be a good time to practice. That energy will be behind you. It's also really great, you know, to not tell the truth to yourself. Like, are you lying to yourself about something? Do you think that you actually want something that you really don't? Like, you know, school's almost done for a lot of university students. Some of you, I think this is kind of what's coming through right now, is some of you are feeling the pressure to go off and travel because it's what you should do, but it's not necessarily something that you want to do. So take note of those things and do what you actually want to do and leave all the rest. So let's get into the cards here. Okay, general theme of the week. And the weekend. I just picked them nice and fast. So what do we have? Okay, so the Ace of Cups. So the general theme of the week is Ace of Cups. So aces talk about beginning of journeys, and the cups is all about the emotional world, the emotional side of things. So this week is about a new beginning. So it could be, you know, a new beginning in your... It's emotional related. So it could be relationships. If you're really attached to your job, it could be emotional journey there. This is mostly talking, I think, about the emotional body within yourself. I think there's going to be a bit of an evolution happening within all of us. And this is a chance for a new start, maybe a new experience emotionally, or almost an emotional clarity, or something that's birthed because of this emotional, I don't know what the right word is, like it's like an epiphany of sorts, or like you found a new tool within your emotional toolbox. And here you can see that the witch her cup is overflowing. And so she's sharing with the world, but what's falling out of her cup is water, but that water instantly sprouts beautiful little trees. So there's some new birth, there's some new growth there. So by you overfilling your cup, you're then sharing when your emotional cup is running over in good ways and you're emotionally fed, it can pour over into the world and it can bring gifts. So allow your emotional journey to unfold and allow it to bring out whatever gifts is required. Then the beginning of the week, we have Eight of Swords. So here in the Eight of Swords, we can see she's blindfolded. She's surrounded by swords. All hope seems to be lost. All she needs to do is realize that she can just either A, bend her arms and pull up the blindfold so she can untie herself, or B, wiggle her arms a little bit and untie herself. So she's not tied very tight. Her hands are in front of her so she can actually see. Not to mention she's surrounded by knives. So if she wanted to, she could saw off the ropes that are tying her together. So this is just a reminder that if this is you thinking that you're totally screwed and that you're done, just open your eyes, take a new look and untangle yourself. You have the power to get yourself out. And maybe that's what this is all about, is this emotional journey with yourself and saying, no, I'm not stuck. I'm not be trapped here. I'm making a choice to stay here. All I have to do now is to choose a different route, to choose to get myself out. And you do have that power and that energy behind you. And this is all within yourself, because this is a minor arcana. This is not the universe pushing you. This is all within you. And so is our general theme. So that general theme is going back to that emotional honesty, that emotional power. So use that emotional power that you were given this week to take action and to get yourself out of whatever situation you feel like you're stuck in, because you're not. You've got the power. So then Nine of Pentacles, which is, so far we have quite a varied week, so that's always good. We don't get too many of those. So here the Nine of Cups, you see her. She's just kind of doing what everybody wants to do lately, especially me. Being in a beautiful garden, reading a book with some delicious wine. So this is a testament to the fact that everything's all good. Everything's okay. You've worked really hard. Now you can kind of just open your arms and receive, and the seeds have been planted, you've done your work, and now it's time to just sit back and rest. So enjoy the abundance that surrounds you. Enjoy the prosperity that surrounds you. And this is also a good indication that whatever this situation is, once you get yourself out of it, this will be you. You will be just fine. And I know you all have a situation in your life that you feel like this. I know I certainly do. So let's get ourselves out of it so that we can sit in the garden. Sound good? So then for the weekend, we have the Two of Swords. So we have 2 Swords cards, 1 Cups and 1 Pentacles. So this is a good, I just realized I'm not listening to music. Weird. I always listen to music. It's irrelevant. Okay, so we have the Two of Swords. So we do have a pretty good spread, a little bit of the emotions, a little bit of the mind. We have a little bit of the money situation all trickling in our reading here. And the weeks are capped off, I guess, beginning and ending the Swords. So we have a very mentally focused week. We have a little bit of time in the middle for us to kind of just enjoy the world around us, enjoy the world and the life that we've built for ourselves. But again, this is your decision. It's all around you already. You just have to open up your eyes and see it. And if it's easier for you to imagine this, as you're trying to get over this, then do it, because this is here for you for a reason. And it's in the very middle. So it's kind of cushioning both of the more harsh cards. And so what we have here with the Two of Swords is she's just kind of making a decision blindly. You know, she's throwing daggers, and for some of us, we can do that. But for most of us, that's very dangerous, especially because there's animals in the room. So for this card, if this is you just blindly making decisions and throwing daggers in the dark, maybe it's also time to take off that blindfold and make a more mentally focused decision, because this will be very tempting this week just to make a decision without even really putting much thought into it. Alternatively, for some of you, so just focus on what your gut is telling you for this reading, it's the opposite. So most of you have practiced your craft. You have been throwing daggers your whole life in a good way, not in a bad, mean way. You've been throwing daggers, you've been practicing, you know exactly where that target is. You just have to go, and you're trying to challenge yourself. You're ready, you're going to hit the bullseye. So you don't necessarily have to do it blindfolded. You know you can hit it. So instead of trying to challenge yourself so hard, just make it easier for yourself and just hit the bullseye. Take off the blindfold. You don't have to be blinded in this decision. So for some of you, the answer is very clear, and you believe that you're blindfolded, that you don't know, but there is a very simple solution in front of you. For example, if you want to leave a job or something like that, and you're like freaking out because you don't know where your money is going to come from, there's a job you could apply for. There is other employment opportunities. There's other ways for you to actually make money. You just need to do it because you believe that you're trapped in that job, but you're not. You have the choice. You can do exactly what you want to do. You can do it somewhere else or with someone else or living somewhere else or traveling somewhere else, whatever it is. So you don't need to make things so hard for yourself. Just take off your blindfold and just hit the bullseye that you know is right in front of you. Anything else with this week? Seems like a very structured, firm week, but in a good way. And as always, of course, meditate and take time for yourself. In the middle of the week, definitely do something fun for yourself. Lounge or treat yourself to a face mask or something like that. And just enjoy. And just take a step back or even talk to someone about where you're feeling stuck and just ask them to just be objective and let you know where they can see solutions for you, because sometimes we just are caught up in the same thing over and over again that we can't really see a way out. Clearly, we need someone else to kind of step in and to give you well, this is kind of what I'm seeing, or these are the things that I have done. So don't be afraid to kind of share what you have. And also, because it is a very mentally driven week, try not to let your intellect take you on too much of an ego ride, because those are never fun. They never work out well for you. So just be aware that you'll be very mentally driven this week, and take it back and balance it with the emotion and the spirit and the passions and the money and all of that kind of stuff. I hope that you have a fantastic week ahead, filled with tons of insight and tons of amazing Nine of Pentacles life. If you would like private reading with me, you can email me at thejourneytospirit@gmail.com and come and visit me anytime at katiehunt.ca. I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing. I so much appreciate it. Have a fantastic week. See you next time.